by bugs. Flying bugs in the fall, late summer. This will probably be a short one. I just got stung on my finger just a minute ago by a yellow jacket. Actually, a minute ago it was still light out. It was still light on this hot September night. Sweat dripping like busted faucets, streets humming like power lines ready to snap, muscle cars lined up like gladiators, chrome teeth flashing under sodium lamps, and the crowd. The crowd, they're hungry for speed, for smoke, for coal rolling out the back, for the roar that rattles your rib cage and makes you forget the news, forget the funerals, forget the flags at half-mast drooping like tired eyelids on a drunk. Engines rev, and it ain't just horsepower, it's heart, beat, 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 the defiance. It's every 16-year-old's dream on 4-ball tires. The asphalt trembles. Hell, the whole damn block trembles. And still, the crickets sing their choir. Tiny prophets in the grass swaying. Go on, go on. Life keeps moving. Life keeps kicking. Life keeps chirping in the dark. By the baseball diamond, some old folk tune crackles, a dusty hymn from Woody or Pete, strummed through busted speakers rolling over bleachers. And remember when kids wore uniforms instead of grief? And it mixes, welcome John Burton, and it mixes with the burnt rubber tires, rockabilly shriek of engine at red line, and it sounds like America before the hangover, before the credit cards maxed out, before tragedy became a ticker tape parade, and every channel. That's kind of good to be into fashion. And on every channel, the moon is a monster tonight, a harvest beast, orange and swollen, dragging its belly across a tree line, daring us to remember we're still alive. We're still alive. I got lost in this piece. That we're still alive, daring us to race under its drunken grin. And people, my God, these people, they don't flinch. They drink from brown paper bags, welcome. They laugh too loud. They holler names across chain-link fences. They bet $20 on the Camaro, the El Camino, 10 on the Mustang, 2-1 odds the cops don't show. They clap when rubber peels into smoke. They clap when headlights vanish down the road. They clap. And when the night splits open with firecracker exhaust, they clap even louder. Nostalgia? Yeah, it's all here. Sweating out our pores like beer we can't afford and buy anyway. It's like the ghost of jukeboxes and diners, neon humming love letters folded in jacket pockets, ball games that ended in fireworks instead of fear. It's reckless joy rolling through every piston, every pick, every laugh echoing out the outfield. So what if the country's bleeding? So what if the headlines drip with sorrow? Tonight, Tonight, we choose gasoline over grief, folk chords over funerals, burnt rubber over broken hearts. We are stubborn as rusted Chevys, rusted Novas, stubborn as weeds in sidewalk cracks, stubborn as bluesmen strumming smoke-filled bars long after closing. We are here, we are loud, we are undetoured, undaunted, and under this big damn harvest moon, we race. We race like the world owes us one last joyride. We race because maybe it does, because maybe it always will. Hello? Will them weak ask, "Oh, what's wrong with my glasses, Mr. Burton?" Jesus Christ has forsaken you. Repent and believe in the gospel. Believe in the truth. Because Jesus saves you. Yes. And do you know how it is that Jesus saves you? Because Jesus is here in you. Jesus saves because Jesus is in you. McDonald land Jesus swinging on a tree. McDonald land Jesus spells the Big Mac attack, a cack, a lack. Old McDonald land Jesus. It's the best. Big James, hello. Put in the Gia Burton. Not even, oh, Josiah, sorry. I didn't see it very well, Josiah, because I was reading this poem for you. And I'm not into fashion at all. I'm not into fashion at all. I don't do fashion. I just wear some damn old clothes I like. I like Hawaiian shirts. I like my Spam hat. I like this dirty yellow Oregon jacket. And how about you? The next Kenneth Copeland. Yes, that's right. You want to ride on a tube full of demons? I ride private on my own jet. Just give me some money. Give me some money and I'll show you the salvation of Christ. Because Christ Almighty, Christ saves you, me, everyone. With a dollar, with a fist full of dollars in your hand, Jesus will save you too. And so you got to show a sign of faith. Little faith with Jesus. With Jesus. And give me that dollar too. Because I can speak for Jesus with a buck or two. Anyways, my favorite movie, one of them anyway, is Leap of Faith. Bugs are all over me. It's like the bugs are migrating at this time of the summer. The flying ants are all out there. They're attracted to my camera lights. They're attracted to my yellow, my clothing. Anyways. Let's try another one. Kenneth Copeland. Let's do just see if we can get another, okay, write me a poem in the style of Kenneth Copeland, in the style of Kenneth Copeland about salvation in a bucket of dollars, about salvation in a bucket of dollars related to bucket of dollars. A bucket of dollars, KF. Come on, get off me, bugs. KFC. Man, they're just swarming. I don't know how long I can stay out. Can KFC. KFC. Buckets of joy. Buckets of joy. Jesus saves. Jesus saves your dollars. Your dollars. Jesus saves your dollars. Saves your dollars, not your souls. Not your souls. Let's just try this and see what happens. Glory, hallelujah. Pass the bucket, saints, not the bucket of water, not the bucket of fried chicken grease. No, I'm talking about holy buckets of dollars, crispy bills stacked high, dripping in prosperity oil, seasoned with 11 herbs and blessings. Jesus, He don't need your tired old soul. Jesus, He needs your cash flow. He saves in savings accounts. He redeems in interest rates. He multiplies like loaves and fishes only if you sow your dollars into this bucket. Pour your tithe into the grease-stained chalice and watch your bank account resurrect on the third day. Can I get an AM for the A? Can I get an amen for the ATM? Can I get a hallelujah for your checkbook? Saint Visa, Saint MasterCard, swipe your way to salvation. Forget the blood, forget the cross, forget the sorrow in Gethsemane. We got buckets of joy, buckets of wings, greasy grace, prosperity, thighs and drumsticks dipped in divine dividends. And the preacher laughs, that big Kenneth Copeland laugh, and says, if you want heaven's gates, you better grease them with green, because in this gospel, it's prosperity. And Jesus don't save your soul. He saves your dollars instead. He counts your offerings. He stacks your bills in buckets of blessings. KFC buckets of joy. Finger-licking salvation. Dollar by dollar, bucket by bucket, until the sky rains down chicken fingers and cash. You know what? I think that's all we're going to do tonight. These bugs are really bugging me. And anyway, I'm not that interesting anyway. Because who likes poetry? You don't. Obviously, you don't. But, I do. And that's all that counts. I'm going to come back later, tomorrow, maybe later today to do something else. I don't know. I'm going to get out of the light, get out into the dark. Because if we look outside right now, it's pretty dark. I bet I was all pixelated too. I have a feeling that was true. Pixelation, masteration. And what do we got? It's not pixelated. It's actually a great stream right now. Pixelation, masteration, cast your die into the sky. Cast your die into the sky. That lathe of heaven. That lathe in the sky. Crafting bolts and screws for you. Crafting bolts and screws for you on the lathe of heaven. I think there was a movie called The Lathe of Heaven a long time ago. I believe I watched it too. On VHS, maybe? You hear the crickets out there? Let's see. Let's turn the camera around. I'll just kind of go out a little ways. Maybe we'll sit over here. Yeah, I can sit over here. Just sit out under the darkness, the stars shining bright. A car drives by, roaring down the road. Twinkle, twinkle, little star. Or was that a satellite UFO flying by? The crickets. The crickets sing. They rub their violin legs together. Massaging the air into the darkness. Grass, mature, grains ready to drop. Flowers drying. And out there, the pears are ripe on the tree. I can see what you can't see. You can see what I can't see. And together, we form a complete picture. Together, we know a truth about this year, last year, and tomorrow, when we wake in the morning, it's warm out today. It was hot this afternoon, but at night, this is a rare night in the Oregon coastal hills, that it feels like it could be 70 degrees out right now. Tenreg, I am sitting outside under the darkness of the sky, listening to crickets sing all around us, all around me, and there's these other flying bugs going by, and 15 minutes ago or so, I got stung on my fingers just before dark, seconds before dark. But it's okay. It's okay now. And I'm recovering from a migraine headache, but you really don't care about this. Sponge moth migration? What's the sponge moth migration? I'm just flapping my yap into the wind. This summer went by so fast. I feel like I didn't get to enjoy any of it. Thank you. I am just talking. Stream of consciousness out of my mind. The river flows by over there, literally over there. When I was a kid, there was steelhead in it. Not anymore. It seems unbelievable there were steelhead in it, but there were steelhead, which are a very large trout. They're related to the trout. I do think they go into the ocean, but I'm not sure about that. Yeah, the decline of the steelhead. Welcome, Mama Sushi. I'm recovering from a migraine. I'm in the middle of a project of decluttering the house, and I need to rearrange the room that I do most of my content from. I really need to do that this week. But you don't care about that. Why do you care? Why do you care about my personal issues of how hard it is to declutter your life? I'm supposed to be a neat and tidy person. According to numerology, my life path is number 4. Life path 4, and I'm supposed to be a tidy and organized person, but my organization is only in my mind, and outside of that, it is cluttered chaos. Thank you for caring, Mama Sushi. I don't think I'm going to do a Tools of Fortune. I was going to do a Tools of Fortune live stream tonight, but I'm still, I took an Imitrex about, 4 o'clock, and so I'm kind of cycling through, and I'm probably just gonna go to sleep early. Yeah, that's right. I read about yeah. So you're used to the hoarding. I'm not a hoarder, Mama Sushi, but I have a lot of stuff. A lot of the stuff I have in the house is my dad's stuff, and it's my mom's stuff. And very little of it is my stuff. And so, but I have, in my bedroom is also where my craft table is. And I am bringing a new computer into my life. Actually, it's not a new computer. I bought the computer in 2020, but a friend of mine is wiping the Microsoft software off and putting open source Linux on it, and then Taneg, my father passed away 13 years ago, and my mother is 86, and I'm her caregiver. So it's not like I live with my parents. Yes, my father was cremated and is in a cemetery. My mother, we're in the process of doing, well, actually the role reversal thing. I take care of mom. So it's not the same as I live with my parents. It's that there was a point of time when I moved into the house that I grew up in order to be the good son. So, for instance, yesterday my mom woke up with really bad pain in her hip, and so we left like at like 8 o'clock in the morning, maybe 9, to go to an urgent care like 50 miles away, and then we came back, and then today we went over there again for physical therapy. So your father also, yeah. So yeah, you understand what I'm talking about, And so I have to, doing the physical help with the physical therapy things with mom, and then we got to, doing the encouragements and doing stuff like that. I bet my light is about ready to burn out. Oh, 75%. I got plenty of light left. Yeah. And so, just stuff like that. I usually take Mondays off content creation, but this month I've taken a few more days off because I'm doing content for 2 channels, and I knew that it was going to be hard, but I didn't have the anticipation that it was going to drain me out as much as it did. But it wasn't, probably just, if it was just the content creation alone, and I wasn't looking after mother, I think that it would have been a lot easier. Tenreg, the last job that I worked, the last employer I worked before I started being my mother's caregiver, I was bartending in a casino. I was a day shift bartender at an indigenous casino. I did that for I did alcohol service for roughly 8 years. It was 6 years, and I worked in food and beverage for 7 years. So it was, but I did other things like I worked as a bookkeeper up in Seattle, and then I did other things. I didn't have any specific career. Welcome, Tapestry of the Unseen. I missed you. My dog is getting old. I need to have you to come on the show sometime. I'm trying to whip things up again so I can begin having more guests on and do stuff like that. I kind of want to broaden my content out on this channel, rather than having it just like the one thing or a few things that I did, but just kind of broadened things out a lot better. Oh, I'm not bad. I'm just kind of recovering from a migraine today. I'm not a very good housekeeper, but I've been having to do a lot of cleaning and housekeeping stuff, and and stuff like that, and yeah, I know, because you lost one of your animal, your friends, your furry friends, and I can understand how that really impacts your life. And yeah, because little Pee-wee is getting kind of old. She's getting close to 16. Yeah, well, my asthma has been pretty bad this summer too. And I didn't use this night. Last night I was mopping the floor. And I was hearing this whistling sound. I'm thinking, what the hell did that come from? Then I did realize that, I was wheezing. Was wheezing a bit. Bella and May, you lost 2 of your dogs. Oh, that's terrible. And so, yeah. Anyways, it's a beautiful night. I didn't really need to talk about that kind of stuff. It's a beautiful night. I'm going to have, in the near future, I'm going to have, I mopped the floor with a bleach solution, a water bleach solution. And so I was just doing that, and I got to get rid of stuff and all that. Actually, Tenreg, I did the bartending for roughly 2.5 to 3 years. I did for a year. I did it for about a little over a year. I worked as a cocktail server on the gaming room floor, and so for roughly 3, almost 4 years, I worked in the environment where everybody was smoking cigarette. I know I should have worn a mask, but I didn't wear a mask. I didn't wear a mask at all. But when I went to the doctor, took my mom to the doctor today, I wore a mask then, and I had my mother wear a mask too. You're right, it isn't great for asthma, and so I learned in 2020 that I had asthma. I didn't know prior to 2020. Oh, so you were a bartender as well, Lila? Yeah. Yeah, I was, I really, as I mentioned in another video, of all of the actually, my favorite job that I had was working in the family business, working for my dad, which started when I was just a little tyke, 8 or 9 years of age, where it would be, Mom would drop me off at the mill on Sunday afternoons, and that would be the only time I'd see my dad during the day. She'd drop me off at the mill after church, and then I would just sit and watch Dad sharpen the chipper knives and do other maintenance to get the mill ready for Monday. And then pretty soon he would put a shovel in my hand, and he said, "Oh yeah, shovel out that conveyor." And so lumber mill. And so that was my environment that I grew up in. I grew up in a lumber mill. That was my favorite job was work, but it was not necessarily that work, but it was that I worked with my dad. And it started when I was just a little boy, and then I actually worked in the mill starting at like age 14, pulling green chain. And then at 18, when I was legally able to work around machines, that's when I started like working on the pond, doing bucking logs, and then also more green chain and the resaw. And the resaw was so they took my dad ran the head rig, which was he'd cut most of the lumber. So the log would come in, it would roll up into the mill, and then it would go on a carriage, and then it was this was all analog. My dad built most of this mill because he was a physics guy. He had a degree from Reed College in physics and mathematics, and very mechanical, just super mechanical, and that so he would be sawing the lumber, and then what was left was this cant was like a 6x6 or an 8x8, which had the heart in it. And this was, we're cutting alder. We're cutting alder is the wood we're cutting, and it's kind of a semi-hardwood, but they used alder to make a lot of furniture and stuff. You know, like maple would probably be better. Oak would be even better. Pine, of course, is where a lot of furniture and stuff is made out of. So alder was a step up above pine, and it was kind of like right on the same level as like so your work as an accountant, and so that's kind of and then what the resaw did is it took the center thing, the cant, which was after all the good lumber went off, and then it went around to my station, and then I would cut it into, you know, when they were 8 and 10 foot lengths, and so a lot of this extra wood, it went to make pallets or did other things or whatever, you know. It was just that was that job, and that job ended in my dad quit in 95 or 96. That's when my dad quit. He and his business partner, they just couldn't compete anymore, and they shut the mill down. And then in 1996, it was just my dad, myself, and my uncle, and we cut the mill up, and we hauled it into Cascade Steel into McMinnville, Oregon, and we sold the mill by the ton. And so 1996 was when, last year that mill operated was 1995, and that was my favorite job of all times. All-time favorite job. And then my next favorite job was, I did this in 1994, the summer of 94, and I didn't do it again, but I just did it once, and I worked as a wildland firefighter, and I worked up and down the Pacific coast. So I did one fire in California, I think 4 fires in Grants Pass area, which is in southern Oregon, in the Rogue, and then about 6 fires up in Washington State, and then like in the Yakima Valley, and then 1 or 2 fires in like north central Oregon, like around near Pendleton and Wallowa. And so that is so that's kind of, that was like a 1990, it was a hard job. It was a really hard job, the firefighting, and in some sense I kind of look back in time and wonder what my life would have been like if after that summer of firefighting that I would have enrolled at OSU to get another degree like in forestry, and with a emphasis on fire suppression, like not fire suppression as a house or a structural fireman. I was never interested in that at all. But working in the woods, I liked working in the woods. And woods were very spiritual. There was a very spiritual quality to being in the mountains and being in the woods. But yeah. So your wife supports BC wildfire, yeah. But anyway, that was an option. That was an option but I didn't think about it really until I was like 40 years of age, or was a little bit older. It was when I was working as a bookkeeper. I was working as bookkeeper in the door and window industry in Seattle. I like that. I like that job too. And then when I came back, a lot of things is that I have a variety of careers that I did, mostly because my principal skill lied in art. And so where my heart was in creative endeavors. My heart was in artistic things. And that's what drove me. And that's what drove me was poetry. It was, at that time in my life, it was poetry. I was writing, and I had these high hopes to write a novel. Yeah. That's where you go to reset. Well, I live in the rural areas, Tenag. I live in the coastal hills, the coastal mountains of Oregon, and so like, you have to drive the nearest, essentially the nearest grocery store is like a 25-mile drive away, with the exception there are small towns around here where you can get beer, chips, you can get whiskey, you can get cigarettes, you can get casino gambling, you can get gasoline, you can get your, those kind of things. There is a farmer's market that's nearby. There are weed shops. But if you want to get high quality produce, well, you're going to have to, at least out of a grocery store, you're going to have to drive like 25 miles. But the closest complete grocery-like organization is the tribal food bank. So where you get the highest quality of produce and types of foods that you can get in this area, you can only get it out of the food bank. And otherwise, you have to drive like 25, 30 miles to do that. So you farm, hunt, and grow your own produce. Yeah, I have tomatoes. I have tomatoes that I'm going to process this week. I'm going to make tomato sauce out of it. I'm going to make pear sauce too, which I'm just going to pack it into the freezer. I'm not going to can it. I have done canning before, but I'm just not going to can. I'm just going to put it into pint jars or quart jars and freeze it. That's what one of my pear sauce. Yeah, pear sauce it's better than applesauce, and that my mom likes that. This is stuff Mom likes. So Mama Sushi lives in the mountains, just like Mama Sushi lives in the Cascades, and I live in the coastal mountains. And so yeah, I'm gonna try and come on tomorrow morning for coffee. I have an idea. What I was gonna do today was talk directly to well, anyway, I'm going to do some other things, but like I said, I started out and I was feeling migraine-y, but now I actually feel better. I feel better. I could probably do a Tools of Fortune reading tonight, but I'm not going to. I'm going to go to bed early, probably, and then I'm going to try to reset my sleep schedule. One of the things I got to do for the sake of my mother's health and my health is that we got to start going to a pool to get regular exercise. And in order to do that, to that town, that's 25-mile drive to that pool. And all of those exercise sessions are before noon, and so I'm gonna have to work. Well, thank you. I got stung by a bee right here. I had on this clothesline up here. I was drying the mop off, and I went to go pull the mop down, so and just to put it back in the house, and I didn't know there was a yellow jacket on there. I got stung by that, and Aquafit is great. Yeah. I don't really like the cold water, but I like this pool because it has a jacuzzi, and so that's what my goals are. And I have to lose 50 pounds. Well, not 50. I just need to bring my weight down to 190. I'm at 220 right now, maybe 225, and I need to bring my A1C down under 6. I'm at 6.4, and so I'm 1 point away from diabetes, and so I got to really work hard on changing my evil ways. I got to change my evil ways here, and try to cut the evil bread out and the evil cake out, and try to eat a more healthier diet and bring more exercise into my life. And so, so you have wood-fired cedar tub in the deck. Oh, yeah, I bet that is. Yeah. The yellow jacket was jealous of my jacket, yeah. But, we haven't had that many bees or yellow jackets or bugs or anything this year. All the yellow jacket nests that I know of, I just left them. Whereas 4 years ago, I would have gone out there with the Raid and the bug spray and just killed them. But I haven't done that. I just haven't done that at all. I would look at it and thinking, oh man, there ain't very many bugs around. And the birds, there ain't many birds around either. All right. Go change a diaper, yeah. These aren't bees. This was not a bumblebee. This was a yellow jacket. I got stung by a yellow jacket, or it was some kind of a wasp of some kind. So, form you can fill out with health insurance. They can provide money for oddball things like pool. Oh. Yeah, I'm on OHP. I wonder if OHP has a discount. I think Mom gets a discount, but yeah, we'll be going to. Yeah, all right. Good night, Lila. I look forward to having you come on the show sometime again. I want to broaden my content out a bit. I'm in my 4th year of this channel, and And I really would like to see if I could cross over the 4,000 watch hours. But that means I have to do really, really good. Anyways. Good night, Lila. I think I'm going to hang up my hat. And I know that my camera light is... Yes, I do. I do interviews with guests, and I'm having... the next one I'm having on is... And hopefully it'll be next Tuesday. Next Monday is going to be a nice weather day, and I'm hoping I can go to the beach. Go to Pacific City. I want to go back up to Tillamook and drive down around. I think it's Cape Mears. Cape Mears is what it's called, and then come on down to Pacific City, and then come back Highway 101 and come back to where I live. And yeah, I'm having well, you know, Taneg, most of the people that have been in the chat here have been guests on my show. So, yeah. Well, you know what? I do streams often. I just kind of... I haven't... I do streams often, like... Often. I do... and I have some videos that I'm working on trying to get done. I have, like... There's 2 of them. I did... on Saturday when I went to the beach, I shot 3 videos, but only 2 of them were viable. One of them, the commentary was dumb, and so I got to axe that. But 2 of them were okay, and so I'm going to release those on Saturday. Well, thanks for supporting me, and I'm going to get moving myself, and maybe I'll watch a movie or something like that. And so, yeah. Anyways, that's all I got for you guys. Thank you very much for your support. And I will be back later with something new. I'm hoping to come on tomorrow morning and have my coffee out here. And I want to talk, I have some things I want to talk about. I kind of really want to talk about the whole delusional nature that YouTube is when you're a content creator, because, you know, you come on, you start this stuff out, and you kind of think like it's how YouTube whittles your ego away, because, you know, well, I don't know what movie I'll watch, but I want to watch. I have such a hard time watching movies. And so, anyways, something like that. Just kind of relax out. I do need to do some paintings, but I'm not going to do them today, because I'm putting content together for an art fair in November. I got a lot of work to do with that. Some of those paintings will come out in live streams. I'll do some live streams of some of those paintings, not all of them, but just some of them. And there'll be stuff like that. So thank you very much for tuning in. For Mama Sushi, sorry, when you come back on, I'll be gone. And for Lila, thank you, because both Mama Sushi and Lila, that was Tapestry of the Unseen, have been guests on the show. And their streams are available in the past. Back. I might actually, in the description, after I close this thing out, I will put those streams when I had both Mama Sushi and Tapestry of the Unseen on, those interviews. anyways, thank you very much for your support, and I will see you later. Bye-bye.